the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts over tracks, this and that, spitting slow, spitting fast. I could roast, I could gas, think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past. And the pettiness, a reflection of the emptiness. Hilarious, you think you're with my time, you're delirious. Mysterious, because you are behind a fake exterior. Inferior, you know I'll always be a bit superior. Get off of me, this ain't no humble brag. I want you to hear words, you can say them back. I want you to feel free from the chains at last, and to believe in what you got, it was built to last, yeah. Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
All right, y'all, we're here, we're live. You're watching Buster Unmasked, and yeah, we're 1 hour earlier than normal. We're here at 6 p.m. tonight. We got a hell of a show for you. Listen, you know where you can catch us at. You can catch us on Facebook. You can catch us on YouTube. You can catch us on X, and most importantly, every single Thursday night at 10 p.m. Central Time, you can catch us on the Genesis TV network. Look, guys, like I said, we have a hell of a show tonight for you guys. One of our guests is going to be fashionably late. He had a little incident at work, and I'm going to let my guest who's here tell you exactly what happened. But look, these two guys are two of the most respected guys in our business. Both of them are veterans. They both had long runs with other partners, but now they're together. And without any further ado, I bring to you Big Nasty Phil. Phil,
what's going on, Buster?
What's up, my
Hashtag
brother?
it. Not much. Living life, laughing about Bradley.
Okay, well, look, it's out there. It's funny. It cracked me up when you told me. Tell us what happened to Bradley, man. Tell us why Bradley ain't with us right this second.
Well, you know, at this point, we do some shoot jobs on the side besides just taking bumps, and I guess a lot of us do, honestly. But somebody decided it was a smart idea to, and he can tell more about this story because I just got an overview. But apparently, somebody thought it was a smart idea to stab a can of spray paint, and it sort of exploded all over his face. So,
dude, hey,
I think they were mad for having to work late. So.
Right, you know how that is. I ain't done it on purpose, but I have had a spray paint can explode on me, and dude, man, it gets everywhere. I hope he was wearing glasses, even just regular glasses, because man, that when it explodes, it goes everywhere. You don't know nothing about it until it happens, and then it's over by the time you realize you're a different color, man.
You know, his whole neck's pretty well gray blue or something. It's pretty bad right now, but he should be here in a few minutes. He was pulling up and trying to clean his neck off whenever I talked to him last. So.
If he's that blue, man, he can put a little white hat on, maybe some little white gloves and some little white stockings, man. Maybe he can be a Smurf tonight. You never know, dude.
There we go. He can go all blue. We'll call him a Blue Man Group.
There you go, dude. So look, man, Big Nasty Phil, dude, it's so hard. I promise you, it's taking all I can do not to call you Idle Bane, man, because that's what everybody knows you as for all these years. So, look, while we're waiting on Bradley, look, we got Theo Melton III here. He said, hey, watching from work. Theo, I appreciate you tuning in. I appreciate everybody's support that tunes in and interacts with us, y'all.
Absolutely.
So, look, man, talk to me about you and Bradley are together now, man. Y'all like this dastardly duo, man. y'all all over the place. You're big in Memphis wrestling, big at MACW, ASWF in Tuckerman. Always pivotal roles in both places. But look, let's go back a little bit. How did you go from being part of LSD all these years to now you're with Bradley and y'all are, it's different, man. Like I said, even your name, you're Big Nasty Phil now, no longer Otto Bang. Talk to me about that transition, dude, and how it came about.
So, LSD sort of went and did their own thing. I don't know, it was 8-9 years ago, something like that. We are going to be that. I bet that's Jamie J right there, and we are going to be at 100 Wrestling on Star Wars Day, right there in Wynn. I believe it's in Wynn, right?
Hey, but, hell of a crowd last time. What I seen, hell of a show. The little bit of footage I seen, man.
Yeah, it was a rowdy crowd, and that we packed that place out. So congrats to everybody involved in the promotion into that, because we hope to do it again. So I did make a kid cry at that show. So
there you go, man. Job. You're doing your job. But look, Jamie J was here a few weeks ago, month or so ago, and he was talking about kind of being nervous, knowing he was going to draw a crowd, but not kind of knowing how many for real, and talking about you specifically. How he kept trying to put it over to you that, man, the show gonna be good. We're gonna draw a good house. And said you finally told, said, look, bro, man, I ain't never worked for you ever that you didn't draw a good house, man.
Yeah, he always has a good show, especially in Wynn. I mean, that's his town, man. It draws good every time. And so Jamie's got that lucky touch there in Wynn and in that area, really, for sure. He does parking occasionally and some of those other little towns in the area. So always has a big crowd. So it's always fun.
Well, look, take us through and how you went from, man, because LSD, look, it ain't like that was some dropping the bucket thing, man. I mean, LSD ain't really just it ain't a gimmick for you guys. That's who you guys kind of are. That's real life for you guys. So talk to me about going from LSD to now you and Bradley being together and how all that came about, dude. What happened with LSD?
Well, LSD had really been, I mean, besides a few things here and there, was basically going 8-9 years ago. Me and Dale would tag, but we weren't going to be LSD at the time. We were going to do Goon Squad, and we did that up in Illinois. Cody was, at the time, he was in a relationship with Paris. I can't remember her last name at the moment, but I'm dumb. But they were off doing stuff in Mississippi and traveling around a little more at the time. So, I was just doing my thing, and I ended up joining another little group here, the Miracle Violence Company, or Corporation rather, with Big Vic, Ray Ivy, and Mike Anthony, with Rotten Randy as our manager there. And, injuries happen, life happens, people split, but it ended up being me, Vic, and Randy. And man, we went and did some tag team stuff for a couple of years, and Western Tennessee, Mississippi, Arkansas loops, and then Vic had some health problems. Randy was basically just staying in it until we decided to give it a break. And I was having back issues, so I was going to take some time off, and then I lost the finger, so but that delayed it. But like 2 months after I lost the finger and got back to work, though, I got a promotion in my job, so I was busier than ever. I couldn't really take off the weekends to go do shit, so more or less took off, and I don't know, 3 years or something from the business, besides a couple shows. I showed up a few times, but then my kids started showing an interest in it, and wrestling in the business. And so I took him to, when ASWF MACW started back in Tuckerman, the powers that be at the time, Mike Anthony was booking at the time. He wanted me to come back and help in the back and just be part of it. And I was like, okay, that's fine. I'll maybe consider wrestling at some point, but didn't really even think about it. But then as it came along, okay, now we're going to do some matches here and there, blah, blah, blah. Did a hair match and all that stuff. Well, actually, I lost my hair, and then I got attacked and lost my hair, and then had a match over it. But of course, you got to lose long hair in wrestling. So,
And look, you had to know, man, when you dipped your toes back in the water, man, you had to know it was only a matter of time before you was back in the ring doing something, dude.
I think I made it like 8 months or something, 8 or 9 months though. So I was, man, it's a monthly show, but I was so proud of myself, and then it happened, and here we go.
Then you backslid, man. You fell off the wagon, huh?
Fell off the fucking wagon. Had to scratch that itch. But like I did Idlebane whenever I came back to Tuckerman and in that area, you know, I didn't want to go against what it was, but especially when like Memphis and some of these other places came around, I didn't want to really be the guy in the skirt anymore. You know, I'm not a 20 or 30 something. I got a different mindset about the business and just life in general at this point. So I didn't want to be Idlebane. I didn't want to carry on that moniker anymore. It was time to put that part of me aside and let's see if I can do this. Something probably is a little closer to who I really am, and just trying to be mean, you know, on it. Turned up a lot, but
evolution, man. That's
evolution.
It took Idlebane to get you to Big Nasty Phil. And look, I gotta. We'll get to it, but I'm gonna ask you something about Big Nasty Phil here in a little bit. We're gonna bring up the topic of how you got this name and where it come from, dude. So, but no, go on, dude. You're kind of, you didn't want to be Idlebane no more. It was time for a change. You wanted to be something closer to who you are right now. So, here you come, dude.
Yeah, and then Memphis, you know, they needed somebody to be Brad's uncle, and after he lost his other uncle Mikey, and well, here comes his uncle Phil, and sort of that stuck for a while, and then we killed off the uncle gimmicks, and then we evolved into Big Nasty Phil, and that's the one that's going to stick for the time being for sure. Sort of works out pretty well. So
no, I like it, dude. I do too, man. It fits you. It does, man. I tell you what. Now, when the first time or two I seen it, it took me a minute just because it was just different, and I'm used to seeing you as this certain thing all these years. And, but man, it didn't take me but 2 or 3 times of seeing you, man, and it kind of started clicking for me. And dude, I dig it now. I think you and Bradley are a hell of a duo together, man.
Oh yeah. Appreciate that. We're trying. It's weird. We still don't have any like tag moves because we half the time work singles, half the time work tags, half the time there's a 6-man. You know, so it's like, okay, well, we finally figured out how to do our pose properly coming out to the ring and got a little coordination on that. So, but it's cool. You know, we do the stunt pinky thing, and well, like the logo for this, I think that thing's getting over just as much as anything, and we can sit there and badmouth and be just dastardly nasty people, and he can be the main event about it. So here we go. But so the Big Nasty Phil name, that is Simon from the Posse. Him and probably little Chris, I think they're both doing it. But Simon's the one I remember really pitching for it. But he remembered the guy that worked around here, wherever it was, Big Nasty Bill.
Bill, right, man. I work with Bill a ton, dude.
There you go. And like, he just kept putting it over, and he mentioned it to Dustin, and Dustin popped for it, and I was like, all right.
There you go.
The next day, I called Deadly, and I made a logo for it, and as soon as I got it, I sent it over to Dustin, and it was and Simon, and it was over. That's my name going forward. So, and I don't know, I found some pretty good connection with it. You know, ability to do some heel stuff and just have fun with just being nasty, doing nasty stuff. You know, it's not a lot of people are doing what I do in the ring. So at this point anymore, so it adds a little something else to a show that I'm on. So we can keep it going.
And, you know, talking about you and Bradley don't really have tag moves because you're always in other matches or 6-mans or something. Dude, some of the best teams do not have tag moves. Me and Ron McClarty, I don't think we had one. Only tag move we had was the tag, man. That was it, dude. But we gelled perfectly, man. He complimented me. I complimented him. And I love you and Bradley together. Here's the thing. Y'all are fun. When I watch y'all, y'all are fun, even when you're doing dastardly heel shit. There's still an element of fun about you two guys, man, and y'all have a chemistry from what I can see, man. And talk to me about that. Do y'all have a? Here's the thing. I know you and Bradley have known each other long before this, surely, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So had you ever tagged up anywhere, or I know you've worked the same shows, but have you tagged up anywhere and realized that you two guys actually had chemistry together?
We never tagged with each other that I remember. Maybe a 8-man or 6-man type thing where one of us was an add-on, but no, we just fought each other a lot.
Okay, so
me-
y'all were opponents then,
just over and over. But
right?
really, it gets back to, I mean, during the heyday of the LSD run, I mean, when Brad was a little kid, I mean, he's almost, I think he's 29 or something this year, 28 this year or something like that. But he,
Man, I can't imagine being 28 or 29 no more,
no, I can't
dude.
either. Golly, when that 4 came around, I lost. I forgot what the 20s were like, but
Dude, 5 just came around for me in January, dude. My God, dude. I never thought I'd see 50. So who knows, man?
Congratulations. Keep kicking around for a few more years. I'm sure your children for sure will appreciate it. So
I hope so, man.
But yeah, like dad, Cody's dad and Brad's dad were like pretty good friends. They lived in the same town, you know, and so like I've known Brad and Briar since they were like 14, 15 years old, riding around the little town we lived in. And I mean, they've always been around wanting to be wrestlers, you know. And as soon as they both started, I mean, shit, 3 months into the fucking them being really in the business as a tag team, uh, we started riding, going to shows in Tennessee and stuff together. And I mean, it was all right. Now what are we going to do? And then we just started hanging out. And I mean, they've been my boys since, you know, for the last 9 years for sure. Heavy, and it is what it is. I don't see it stopping anytime soon. So we're gonna do this thing and have fun with it. You know, try to entertain some people in the process.
So, like I said, you already had a relationship. Y'all had a connection, man. So obviously, and you started out as opponents. Same thing. Once again, me and Ron McClarty, long before we tagged with each other, we always ended up working each other, working with each other, dude. Always, we were always opponents, and we had good matches as opponents. And we just didn't realize when we got together that we would have the chemistry we had. But that having all them matches against each other, you start knowing, you know, these people, you know their move sets, you know what they're doing, you know, kind of know what they're thinking. They can do something, and you know what's coming next because you've been in there. You kind of know what they do, and man, I see that with you two guys. There's some kind of magic there with you two guys. It's not just two. I mean, really, dude, it's not just two guys that are thrown together and just trying hard. You two guys, you look like I said, y'all are fun. It ain't that what y'all are doing is fun. I think it's y'all are fun because you can tell you guys are having fun out there. You guys are no matter what it is, you're enjoying it. Two guys are into it, and that's a big part of wrestling, man. If you're into it, the fans will believe it and be into it too.
There you go. You got to buy into your own shit sometimes.
There you go.
Especially when our music hits, we buy into our own shit. I promise you.
So look, dude, I had you. There was a LSD reunion. What, about a year ago? Maybe less, a little less.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I had all three of you guys on. First time we didn't talk to each other in probably what, 15, 17 years, something like that. Yeah. So, you know, it looked like maybe y'all were going to make a run. I seen Dale kind of did a few matches. Cody did a few matches. What are these two dudes doing now? Did Cody fade back out of the business? And Dale, I see some of Dale's stuff here and there, but kind of what happened? Did it just run its course and it just wasn't it just wasn't right anymore? Not between you guys. It just like timing in
No,
wrestling. It just didn't.
yeah, it was sort of timing and wrestling, really. Like, I mean, really, it was all set up to turn me from the beginning of it. Unfortunately, the reunion came out of the spur of nowhere, basically. So it was like somebody asked a question. So me and Dale and Cody, for the first time, had sort of, and we'd had a group chat going around for the last couple months, and it um, it just was like, I popped the question. It was like, hey, would y'all be interested? And they both said, yeah. And you could tell they really meant it. And
Right.
um, here we go. So we did the return, tried to get a little bit of pop, did a couple tag matches. Um, it and honestly, a lot of just fell short for different circumstances, people no showing or whatever,
Right.
opponents, and it.
Yeah.
Uh, but but then Dale needed to take some time off to regather himself, and I mean, Cody was just sort of there as a filler place, anyways, because the angle that's how we built up to the death match with Brad and Deadly. So
Right.
Cody was just sort of a filler piece anyway. So whenever Dale went away, he sort of went away for a minute too, and well, he hasn't been back yet, but there's been talk of it. And he's having some family issues he's having to take care of too. So hopefully by summer or fall, he'll come in and do a couple matches and see if he can regain that bug, that itch for it again too. So.
Well, how was it that first night that you three guys actually were in the ring together again after all this time? How was it?
It was a moment I never thought would happen again. No, not really. So I don't know. There have been so much just shit, and I'm not gonna get into details over that. I mean,
Right.
some people know some shit, and some people don't, and whatever. But there was a lot of fucking bullshit that happened between the three of us, and I really never thought the three of us would be able to participate in something like that again. And I mean, honestly, right now, even if everybody felt right and can make it go, it could probably happen again at this point. But there's not the animosity that was between us now. So we're just sort of they're just taking care of different priorities in their lives, and I can't blame
Right. I mean,
them.
everybody gets older.
Yeah,
Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody's got shit they got to own up to at different times, dude. Ain't all of us are the
yeah.
same from that perspective. So Idle Bean's gone, and all of a sudden
Alabama's
now
going. Now
you're
we're
big
Phil.
nasty Phil, man.
Yeah.
So did it take you a little getting used to the first few times you did it, or what? Did it just come right natural to you the first time you went out and you was big nasty Phil?
See, I'd already by the time the nasty Phil came in, I'd already been at Memphis for 6 8 months. So
Right.
I was starting to gather where I wanted to be. Uncle Phil was just sort of honestly, it was just me trying to figure out how to do wrestling again and do it in front of cameras,
Right.
which was a fun experience to learn. But still learning to this day.
Pressure,
It's
man.
crazy.
Hey,
Yeah, I love it though.
pressure makes diamonds, dude. That's what it's
Sure,
all about in the wrestling business, man.
there you go. So, but learning not to feed to the crowd whenever there's a camera on the opposite side. That's where I've
Right.
struggled a lot. Because
And it's
I hear it
hard.
pop and I go, huh? Yeah,
It's hard, especially when 90% of your career you're used to working to the audience. You don't have to
yeah,
really worry about which side you got the reverse chin lock on or none of that
right.
shit. You ain't got to
Yeah,
worry about the cameras. You're used to working for the people, and it takes everybody's different about it. Some people can come
sure.
right in and kind of pick it up immediately. Other people, it
Right.
takes a little time to get their bearings. They understand
Yeah,
you're not working for the crowd now. You're working for the crowd out here that you don't even
right.
see. You're working for the crowd on
The bigger
TV.
crowd. Yeah,
Right. And it takes some time, dude. It's hard at times, man.
absolutely. But I'm glad I did it, man. But yeah, but yeah, once the Uncle thing went away and sort of sort of paid it in just to feel. I was starting to feel, get some momentum, and then me and Brad were working better as a tandem. And man, by the time we came up with the big nasty thing, I just was like, oh, okay, here, well, now we're on a good run, and I have something I can describe myself as, and to get to the character I want. I don't know.
Right.
I just like to have the fun and just do the dastardly stuff. I'm gonna start raking eyes and stepping on people and stuff like that. Just nasty stuff. Enjoy
Well,
the fact.
the name too, it's your brand. You kind of got an identity now. You're not just,
Yeah.
like you said, you're not just Uncle Phil. You're not just Phil.
Right.
Now
Yeah.
you got a moniker that you live up to. You Big Nasty Phil. So Big Nasty Phil's got to be big and nasty, dude. It's as simple as that, man.
That's what it is. That's right. That's what it says underneath my nameplate over here. Big and nasty.
There you go, dude. So getting your bearings back, man, especially coming back and getting used to TV, man. Talk to me about, them first few weeks, or maybe them first few tapings. Let's do it like that. Since let's talk about the first few tapings that you actually were back and you were a part of. Talk to me about that and the pressure. Did you feel a lot of pressure, or?
I did, especially that first one. Well, first two that I was part of were pretty stressful, because the first one, we didn't really know what me and Brad were going to be as a team. So we got some neon green sweatsuits, and we were like, this is going to sort of be our deal. And he was trying to start the main event Bradley thing too. So he was trying to just have a different look than what he had been, which is Zubaz and a t-shirt,
Right.
but which is still a-okay in my book. But
you're a big fan of them, dude. I see pictures of you wearing these motherfuckers to this day, man.
All the time, 20 plus, and he was probably worse about it than I was right before the main event Bradley thing started. So, but anyway, shit, I forgot what we were talking about. Like an ADHD kid.
Just talking about your first few tapings, dude, and
the
kind of how it was to get acclimated to doing TV, man.
Right. But we had the green tracksuits, and it was really just a distraction gimmick. That was all we did. But it was trying to look, you could understand the crowd was like, "Who's this guy?" And that was sort of the deal. They didn't really give me a name until the next taping. But the next scheduled taping, I was supposed to go, and I ended up getting damn COVID right beforehand, and I was laid out in bed for 4 or 5 days, and but by the time for the next one, it was the go home of the angle already. So my first match with Memphis, it was me and Brad versus Uncle Mikey and Bushwhacker Luke. So there was a lot of stress to be able to. It was probably I'd had 4 matches since I'd come back, or 5 matches, So
right,
there was a lot of pressure to be able to hold that up. And once I did my fair share in that one, I mean, I was not booked. Brad took majority of that match because he's a trooper like that. But he after that it started getting easier, and I just started figuring out stuff and get comfortable around a whole new cast of people, and a lot of people I hadn't seen, some people I hadn't seen in 20 years.
Right. Look, on deck with Titanic, he says, when are we going to see the Memphis Heritage title around that big and nasty waist, dude? Good question, man.
See how that goes. And we'll have to see how that goes. If it's something that we can make happen, we will make it happen. And but I'm really enjoying the tag team thing we got with Brad right now, and I know we at least got to do if we are ever to break up or whatever, we at least got to do some kind of angle. So one of us is going to have to turn on him.
Right.
Where's this dude? I think Brad sent me a message a few minutes ago, but I haven't messaged or been able to check it. So
he's doing his best Smurf cosplay right now. I'll tell you this: soap don't get that shit off real easy either, man. Best thing to use is probably some rubbing alcohol, man. It'll be the best thing to get that shit off, dude. I've had it happen, man, and it don't disappear. So you've had 4 matches, and all of a sudden you're in there with Bushwhacker Luke, man.
Bushwhacker Luke.
Pressure's on, dude, and that's the wrestling business. That's how it seems to happen.
Yeah.
So 1 minute you got 10 minutes for your match. The next minute you got 3. You know, as the wrestling business, something's always different. Very seldom does everything go down exactly the way you want it to. There's always a little cog. But like I said, that's what makes diamonds, that pressure, man. Talk to me about being in there with Bushwhacker Luke. Because here's the thing, man. Memphis Wrestling, they have brought in the who's who of the wrestling business that's available. I mean, obviously, it's hard to get WWE contracted guys, their stars and stuff like that. But everybody else has come through Memphis now, man. All the time. So talk to me about working with. Was that the first time you'd ever met Luke?
That was the first time I'd ever been around Luke at all. And I mean, of course, he was 72 years old, so we had to be, precautions were had to be made and all that. But he was wanting to do stuff. He had ideas. He cussed us like an Australian sailor.
Did he lick you?
He got Mikey. He didn't do me. I was hoping to take their finisher gimmick, and I think Brad did, but I was pretty happy about that. But no, it was good. He was cool. He was there and ready to work and had ideas, and we listened and learned and put together a match, and everybody came out the better, and that video got tons and tons of views on the internet. So that's the goal. So
well, here's the thing. I don't think people realize that when Dustin brings these guys in, it's not just to put them out on TV and give them matches, man. It's to let you guys interact with these guys and maybe pick their brain and stuff. You can learn just as much in the dressing room, probably more most of the time, than you actually can out in the ring from a lot of these guys, man. Most of them, especially the ones who are willing to give you some time and talk to you, maybe offer you some advice if they've seen your match or something. And I don't think people realize that it's not just about, well, I want to bring these names in so I can put them on my TV show. It's about giving your crew these interactions with these guys to make it helps make your crew better, dude.
It absolutely does. I mean, and that's one of the good things about what Memphis has in the Wrestle Center in general. If you can't learn in this business at that place, why are you in our business? Because I just sit there like, we get there way early on for our taping days, so like you can just sit there and you can watch, and there's just all this knowledge being passed back and forth between all these people. A little group over here and a little group over here, and just you talk about the contract, but we have like Will Gibson, the Derek Kings, and all these guys that have done all this stuff, and they're all there, and they're just like, you got a question, ask me.
All this knowledge, man. These guys are full of years and years of experience and knowledge. Guys like William and Derek, there ain't too much they ain't seen in the wrestling business, man.
Exactly.
It's as simple as that.
We'll see it from a different angle in the ref end of it. Not wrestlers don't normally ref a whole lot, but normally. But yeah, so there's so much knowledge there, and they're willing to share it. I promise you, and it's awesome. And then some of these name talents that come in, I mean, some of them, have red eyes and show up, with 2 hours of sleep and are grumpy, but I still have yet to see anybody just be plain out rude that didn't deserve somebody that pissed them off to be rude. It doesn't really happen. I think there's been a couple of instances before I get there, but that locker room, they most of them want to learn. That's what they're there to do, especially these kids that are coming in, Boz and Ray Sanders, and I'll even put over Ray Collins a little bit there. But I mean, Big John Dalton, McKenzie,
dude, Big John Dalton, Big John Dalton and McKenzie, to me,
Yeah.
these two, man, they hit the wrestling jackpot by being a part of Memphis Wrestling and the Wrestling Center, man. Look, Big John Dalton, you're literally, you're talking about a kid pretty much, and he is already established as a entity on the show. He's over.
Sure.
And McKenzie the same way, man. These two really, and Ray Sanders too. The more I open my mouth, the more names I start popping up. But Ray too, man. These three especially have kind of, I guess, absorbed this stuff. Really took it to heart and really put into practice the things that they've been taught there, man.
Yeah, and those three, and I mean, everybody else up there, the kids that went through Class 1, they're all Draco. They're all super talented kids. But and I'm gonna add Draco to that list of the three you were talking about. But those are the guys that have not only the wrestling talent and the brain to understand this business, but they got that uber charisma, and they put it out there at such a high level. Like us, go talk to any of those three kids, and Nick's is like that too.
And the
Bosby's
charisma,
scared to talk, but he's so good at the ring stuff.
The charisma part is the thing you can't teach them. They either have that inside or they don't. You can kind of teach them everything else, but without that charisma, I mean, you can be great at all this stuff and do it perfectly, but if you ain't got something that attracts the audience, tracks them eyes to you, it's for naught, dude. And Bosby, dude, man, this dude here, to me, I see this kid is the next coming of Kurt Angle, to be honest with you, man. I do.
He's uber freaking talented. It's that kid. He absorbs stuff like a sponge. You tell him something, he'll remember it. I've seen it happen a lot, and I don't know. All those kids are real willing to work and willing to learn, and again, they're in a place to do that. I mean, it's the place is getting huge every couple months. You hear, oh well, we got this deal with OVW or Reality of Wrestling or the United Wrestling Network, and just all these connections. And people like Toomer and Mike we're down in Texas this past weekend or something. So I talked to both of them Sunday, and they said it was an amazing experience, and it was an amazing experience, and there's will probably be more interactions between all the federations. So
no, that's super cool, man. I've never met Booker T, but dude, that's one of the guys in the wrestling business that I have a ton of utmost respect for, not just because of what he's accomplished in the business, but you don't want to fuck with Booker T. No. As a man, I don't think he's the guy you really want to pick a fight with if you think you can beat up a wrestler. You know what I mean? I just don't think he's the dude, man. And so talk to me about this agreement or this thing between the three companies, man. Obviously, man, like you said, Toomer and Mike's been out at the Reality of Wrestling. Yeah. What's your thought, man? If that opportunity comes for you and Bradley, you up for it?
I mean, if it's the thing that we can make, or if we get the invite, we're gonna make it happen. Is my opinion on it. I mean, obviously, things could happen, I guess, but I mean, I'd jump all over that if they wanted me to come down and do what I do, And I'm pretty sure Bradley would say the same because he's all about that traveling. I mean, hell, him and Mikey are the reason I got to go to Arizona about a year ago now. So I mean, they will get in the car and travel. So
y'all go to Arizona to work?
Yeah, we went down, and Brad's been down there a lot with Mikey, but we went to Mesa, Arizona, and worked for Party Hard Wrestling over there. Or I only did it once so far, but yeah, they went, I think, damn near 20 times. I think Mikey's going out at the end of the month actually and doing another one out there. It's a different vibe too. I mean, they were associated with the Championship Wrestling from Arizona, which sort of faded right after during COVID. You know, everything got
Right.
hurt during all that, but Party Hard sort of does every couple months, every monthly shows there for a while. They took a big break after the one I worked 6 months a year, and I think they've had three since they started back. And um, I mean, everybody I've talked to that's been out there said it was still a good show and fun stuff. And Mikey's, like I said, Mikey's going back at the end of the month, so it's sure
Yeah,
he's having fun with
that's a nice little road trip there too, man.
it. Yeah.
You
I think
know,
it's 20 or 22 hours. Brad would know it off the top of his head, but it was a
so
hell of a little trip.
how many of those 22-hour trips do you think y'all could make before you started getting on each other's nerves, man?
Well, about -1. No.
That's a long time to spend in a car
it,
with another dude, man.
it really is. Especially on the trip home. Whoever wasn't driving between me and him were asleep, you know. So uh, it was just like we drove nonstop. It was like I drove 8 hours the way home, or both ways we did. But I
Right.
drove 8 hours. He drove 7 or 8 hours, and then I picked it up and I finished off most of it. I think he drove the last hour in because he just knew where he was going. So, but yeah, we we'll get in the car and drive, and then take a nap when we can. So I don't know. It was fun, but I'm sure just being in that small of area with each other would piss each other off. You know, it's bound to happen, but we'd probably
Well,
just yell at each other and be okay the next day. So
you know, when you're young, man, you'll pile 10 motherfuckers in one car, man, all on
let's
top of
go,
each other,
let's go.
never even think nothing about it. But as you start getting older, man, you kind of need some space and shit, you know.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
so,
absolutely.
uh, Reality of Wrestling, the United Wrestling Network, Memphis
Yeah,
Wrestling, they kind of have a working agreement, man. They're doing some talent exchanges and stuff, and obviously
right.
Booker T with Reality of Wrestling, man. He's built an awesome company there, man. Uh, you know, I don't think there's no denying that, dude. I watch some of. I don't catch it all the time, but I
Yeah,
do watch Reality of Wrestling here and there, and
sure.
I've always liked their product, man. Always, and I'm
Yeah,
definitely going to start watching it more now that some of the Memphis boys are going to show up there, starting to show up there for sure. Awesome
absolutely.
product, and the United Wrestling Network, man. It's a cool thing in general. Period. You know, like you said, did a lot of. I noticed at one point there were a lot of companies affiliated. When I say a lot, I mean a lot
Yeah,
of companies affiliated with the United Wrestling Network. Did
right.
I don't
I
remember
think
if that's been back before COVID, but were they a thing before COVID?
so. Like championship wrestling from what used to be Hollywood. It may still be
Hollywood,
Hollywood. Yeah, it was a thing before COVID for sure, and like championship wrestling from Arizona was a thing. And there may have been one in no, I think that was right after COVID that the Georgia or Atlanta one came around, but and then Memphis came out about 3 years ago too, so right after COVID.
right?
But yeah, the base two out there in Arizona and California, they've been around for a minute, and I guess they put together that United Wrestling thing to just try to have another. Honestly, it's to me it feels like a more modern day using of internet NWA,
Right.
and that's sort of the take of it. Um, I don't know.
I feel the same way. That's what I've seen in it too. It was because here's the thing: all these different, like you said, championship wrestling from Arizona, all of them, from what I know, had decent TV time in these different places, decent regional TV time or whatever,
Yeah,
and
so,
that's the genesis of the NWA, man. You can have all
right.
these territories and all these different parts of the NWA, but if they ain't viable where guys can go work and make money and get
Yeah,
exposure and be on TV, it's a waste of time. And I thought the same thing when I seen what they were kind of starting to do. I thought, man, that's really It's not just like the modern, like the NWA. It's actually because it has worked to an extent. You know,
Yeah, I think
it
so.
has
I
worked to
think
an extent.
COVID slowed it down. Of course, it slowed down all sorts of stuff.
Everything. It stopped everything, dude.
Right. But that thing, it keeps growing too. It's on a comeback too. I mean, with I think Derby City Wrestling may be still connected with it. Memphis has
I
been
think
connected
so.
with it since we started. I think it's just the Hollywood one now, but and I'm sure there's some other places. I haven't dug deep into it recently to see who all's still affiliated with it, but I know they're doing big things, and you look at their shows, and they're all got a really professional setup and all the lights and good equipment, and they're putting out good product and getting it to the masses. Cause like it's weird. Like I'll get I've always been a regional wrestler, but and I'm still just a regional wrestler for the most part. But like what I do in Memphis is now seen all over the world, or all over the
Right,
U.S. or YouTube's everywhere. So like
right,
I'll just be on a random wrestling chat room or Facebook post or whatever group or whatever it is, and there'll be somebody from Illinois or Wisconsin, and they're talking about, oh man, we watched this on Memphis Wrestling, and this and this and this, and you're like, people all over are watching this thing. It's, I mean, and you know, United Wrestling. I mean, these guys are putting this stuff out there, and they're doing a really good job at growing it, and getting it to a larger audience. So, I mean, to make
right.
us, the company, and all of us, the workers, a more valuable, commodity, and it's fun. I wish there was something like this around 20 years ago. Whenever I was younger and dumber, like, I've
Right.
been running hard, man.
What it's been USWA shut down 97, so we're talking
Yeah, I
30,
mean there
is
was
it 37, 27 years since since you've
like,
had, because see, at the end of USWA, they had syndicated that product out to a lot of different TV stations out across the country. And I had some friends that lived in Florida, and I had no idea. One day they called
oh
me up and
wow,
said, "Hey man, I just seen you on Memphis Wrestling, the USWA in Florida." I'm like, "How the hell did y'all see that?" And said, "Comes on our certain regional channel there, whatever it was at the
wow,
time." It's cool when you realize that you're kind of out there further than you thought you were. It's
yeah,
one thing. It's a big deal for us all around Memphis anyway, especially
right,
back when it was still a real thing and in a full thriving territory where guys made livings
sure.
or hopefully tried to make a living. Hard to make a living on $50 to $100 a night sometimes, dude. But in
That's
general,
true.
guys were working 4, 5, 6 nights a week. It was still a
Yeah,
territory. It's just wrestling's changed so much now, man. I was always a
yeah,
big firm believer in television. Like, to me, still, I have a hard time believing that. Like I'm starting to see that the actual television viewership is not anywhere close to what it used to be, because
no,
everybody's, if you're under 25 or 30 now, you watch everything, especially under 20 or 25. You watch everything on your phone. Most everybody does. You're always on the
yeah,
go. You're never, my kids, even when they're watching, if their TV's on, it's on some kind of streaming shit, either YouTube or something.
yeah,
And most
oh
of the
yeah,
time they're on their phones. That's how they get all their content. But I still believe that the TV time gives you credibility. It's
yeah,
taking me. It's hard for me not to lose that, because that was drilled into your head for so many years that
right,
TV time. That's what it was really all about. If you wanted to be try to take your wrestling company to the next level, and now it's not quite like that. There's so
no,
many different ways to get your product out to people now that
there is,
it's man. Look, I do YouTube on a minuscule scale, so
yeah,
dude, I see Memphis Wrestling's numbers and their different things they put out. Dude, they get some amazing numbers, dude. They do some big ass numbers.
they really do. I won't put out the numbers because I don't really know them, but I know that over the last year they doubled in. Sorry, last fiscal year 23, they doubled in users and views that they did, and I think this year they're on track to double again. So
Oh, I
it
can see that happening
it's
easy, man.
just going. It's ridiculous how bad they're going or how fast they're growing, and fucking I love it. I'm glad I'm along for the ride to help wherever I can on that end of it. So
Well,
I mean, I'm not
nowadays
doing
it's
any of
all
that, but
social
I'm
media
just a
is all
body, you
about
know.
content,
Yeah,
and they put out Dustin and put out tons and tons of content, and that's really what it's about, man. I mean,
sure.
look at
Those
Jim
reels that
Cornette.
they put out, you know,
Dude, I just
that's
learned
getting
Reels 2 months ago. Reels and
yeah,
Shorts 2 months ago has made a
yeah.
drastic difference in my YouTube channel
Man,
uh,
I was watching the
than
ones you did
before.
with Derek, and I was like, dude, that's gonna get more views than that whole video is, honestly, because you can get that point, you know, that little point over in 10 seconds, 15 seconds, whatever it is, instead of having to dig through an hour pod or whatever it is.
Right.
But
I think Derek's podcast has got about 270, 75 views, the whole
yeah,
podcast. But in
sure,
Reels and Shorts, like I'm
yeah,
just fixing to finish Derek up since pretty much the day after that. I've had Reels and Shorts all this time. I've been putting several on a day. He's probably garnered by himself, I would say he's probably garnered 15, 20,000 views,
that
probably. I
really
mean,
doesn't surprise me a bit. Yeah,
just on
that's
the
awesome.
Reels and Shorts, it makes it's a big difference, man. I was finna say,
Yeah,
look at Cornette, they put their podcast out and it does remarkable, but then you go look, and because sometimes I'm the type of guy, sometimes I'll listen to a whole one. Other times
right,
I like to just pick out the thumbnails. Even if I do go watch every thumbnail, I still watch
yeah,
them in sections. That way I don't have to try to watch the whole thing at once.
right.
And
Well, he's putting
content,
out like
dude,
2 or 3 4-hour pods every week, so it's
dude,
hard to keep up with all that. But
I don't see how he does it. I've been on marathon pods up until this last 2 weeks. I've been trying to cut them back down to an hour, hour and a half, because like
sure,
Derek's went 3 hours, but the time flew by, man.
yeah. I listen to Derek talk. That will pass time really quick. He's super knowledgeable on
Dude,
so
and
many
I feel
things in
like,
this business.
right. And Derek, I feel like he opened up good too, man. I really didn't expect to get what we got out of Derek, dude. I didn't expect him to open up the way he did and just be as
Yeah,
candid as he was, dude. That's one of my favorite interviews, dude. One of my favorite interviews. It was fun, and it had a shitload of good sound bites and little
there you
tidbits of
go.
knowledge that come out in reels and stuff. Awesome stuff. So look,
Yeah,
man, Memphis wrestling, dude. You're ingrained in it now, man. And look, I just watched the Battle Royal, man, and
that'll
you and Bradley both kind of got the ECW boys kind of put y'all out, man. I seen Bradley get
it
that
does,
gore, man, and I seen
man.
both of y'all get eliminated. Talk to me about working with Rhino and Tommy Dreamer, man.
Well, as growing up watching these guys, in the late '90s or whatever, and since, but it it's ridiculous. Both the guys are. It's just such an honor. Both the guys have been very knowledgeable, very willing to share knowledge, especially Tommy. Um, Tommy's he'll he'll tell you everything.
Right.
It's cool how he is, and he really likes Bradley. So uh, Brad's his Memphis Raven. There, that's what they've been calling each other. They seem to work each other or touch each other in some way every time Tommy comes to town. So
Right.
uh, they got a pretty good rapport going on right now. But man, it's a lot of fun working with the guys. I mean, these guys are on TV and big companies or have been for the
Right.
E or whatever it is, and they coming into to Memphis and just a little town, 150 people in that building or whatever, loud as hell, but just 150 people, and just try to do what I can to make them have an enjoyable experience while they're there, and Dustin trusts us to do what we got to do, and the rest of the crew too. And I just don't want to name drop
Right.
just Dustin on that. because he has a team that puts this all together between Terrence and Simon and Neil and probably more that I can't even think of. But those guys trust us enough to be able to go in there and take care of the people that are there and put on a good show and entertain the crowd. And we do our best every time we're in there in that situation, or every time we walk out in front of a crowd to do that for them. So um, hopefully hopefully they'll let us stay around for a long time to come, and we'll continue doing it and doing what we do, and getting to work with some people that used to be employed at big companies or maybe still are.
Right. I never met
Hey.
Rhino. Now I got to be a part of a couple of in '97 when they were doing the USWA ECW feud thing. I got to be a part of a couple of pull aparts between Jerry Lawler and Tommy Dreamer. Dreamer was, even then, man, he was a real cool dude. Real humble dude. He didn't act like he was no better than anybody else there, dude. And at this time, man, they were at their hottest too. ECW was probably at their hottest at that time. He was a big star, but man, he didn't act like he was no better than the next guy there, dude. Really cool dude, man.
I guess the first time I met him, maybe the second time I met him, we were just sitting out back at the Memphis there, the Wrestle Center, and there was a bench he was sort of sitting on getting ready and stuff outside, and I noticed the upside down triangle on the back of his boots. You'll know what I mean. But I asked him, I said, Mr. Dreamer, did Bill Ash make those boots? His eyes get real big because nobody knows who Bill Ash is anymore.
Right.
But he's like, that's the only guy that's ever made my boots. I still wear them all. And it's like, that's awesome. He's been gone for a while, and then the gentleman that took over after Bill retired, I don't think he's even doing it anymore. I'm not even sure. But
I don't think Jose, actually, I think
Jose,
he had a huge part in making them the whole time. I'm pretty sure he was with before Bill Ash's dad got out or whatever happened with him. I think Jose was already a part of that. And then when Bill finally got out, and I could be wrong about some of this, but I'm pretty sure when Bill got done with the boots, Jose took it over. And dude, that's why look, I don't have no plans on wrestling, and I did the dumbest shit I could ever think to do when I decided I was out. I sold both my pair of boots, both Bill Ash boots, dude. Best fucking boots I ever had. Both pair, man, lasted. I mean, they're probably still out there somewhere. Somebody's got them on their feet, and if I ever see them out of nowhere, I'm gonna beat the shit out of them and take my boots back. And I'll know they mine unless they done something to them. I'll know they mine. But dude, you don't get boots like that. And I wanted to buy a new pair of boots just to go along with my gimmicks that I'm never going to wear. But I don't know where to get boots. I don't trust where to get boots of that kind of quality. I have no idea where to even look, dude.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, a lot of boots are now coming from. I mean, High Spots does a lot of boots, and a lot of boots are coming from Mexico. Somebody will know somebody down in Mexico and order a bunch of boots and for a bunch of people and haul them all in. And there's a few people I have on Facebook that's like that. And
well, there used to be really some really good bootmakers from out of Mexico, dude. Sure. I don't know who's who or anything anymore, but they used to have some. There's some guys down there that really used to make quality boots like Bill Ash, right, man?
Yeah. Sometimes they'll be 15 or 18 inches tall, but some of those boots will go up past your knee. It's ridiculous, but no, there are some definitely some good bootmakers still down there, and they make some cool looking boots. But I haven't got into buying new boots. I've still got a pair that work pretty good right now. Although I do need to get them resold. If anybody knows who takes care of boots at this time,
go to the Corner Cobbler, West Memphis, Marion, Arkansas. Kelly, you know Cajun Kelly, right? Kelly Laveau used to work at Moondogs.
I know that name. Yeah.
Dude, when we get off here, I'll send you her name, and you can look her on Facebook. Dude, she's done this forever. She owns the place now, and she knows wrestling boots. She actually, my original pair of Bill Ash boots, right in the ankle where it bends. Yeah. After like 10 or 12 years, man, it finally it it split, a little tiny split, and she took them in and fixed them for me, and I wore them for another 5 years without any problems. Like I said, they're probably out there now, but for sure, I'll send you her name, and if you need, especially something like that, this is where to go. She'll hook you up.
Awesome.
Quality work. You won't have nothing to worry about. Well, look, dude, we spent a lot of time on Memphis. Obviously, I don't think Bradley's going to make it, man. He's probably still in the shower running blue water down. So let's talk a little bit about MACW, and then I'll let you get out of here, man. Talk to me about MACW, man.
So yeah, MACW, ASWF, they're doing the joint venture there between Ricky and Craig, and I mean we're doing monthly shows, and that's really where the main event Bradley thing really started, and where it's got its biggest push for so far. I mean, Memphis has done some stuff with it too, but Tuckerman and them, and they wanted to make him. I mean, we wanted to show how good he is, you know, and he's solid, you know, he's
talented
good.
Fucking guy, man.
Yeah,
super talented. He's actually, was he not the first Arkansas?
The unified Arkansas champion, yeah, and right. I mean, he literally just lost it 2 months ago or a month ago, so he's held it for. Honestly, we went 11 months with the restart of that company without ever having a title, and I was like, "This, why do we need one? We're drawing the same amount." Our crowd. Right. I still told Craig, I was like, after a few months, I was like, "I'm glad we have a belt. It's a beautiful belt. Brad deserves a run, but we're not drawing any more people because we have the belt."
Right.
And he got it, but you know, at that point, we couldn't do anything, and we got a title now. Let's push it and go from there. And but yeah. Brad had a good run. He had some very good opponents to work with, and I mean, we tried to feed him people that could work their ass off, and he was right there with them or in front of them every match. And I mean, and he didn't just do wrestling or high flying. I mean, we had him in a damn death match, and you know, and all sorts of stuff.
I seen a little bit of that, dude.
We put him through the ringer, and he performed every time, and he learned heel promos, and he got heat, and you know, having ugly people behind him to be muscle and you know, do some of that stuff helped too. Between me and Matt Williams, and formerly Gaston too, he was in our group there. But yeah, we take care of it. We do what we can, but that's Brad's show. We're trying to put him over on it, you know, as much as possible. That's the goal of it, for us anyways. You know, everybody else is trying to get over, and there's other people, but
how often do it's not an every week show? Is it every 2 weeks, or is it once a month, or what is it?
It's just right now. It's just once a month. We're doing the second Saturday of every month right now. There has been some talk of maybe making it every other week, but that hasn't started yet. Craig's super busy with his shoot too.
Right. I seen he just opened up his
cars. Yeah.
It just opened up his own thing, so right. I'm sure he is busy, dude.
He is swamped. So, but that'll slow down a little bit here in the next, I don't know, couple weeks probably, and he'll be able to dedicate some more time to MACW, you know, or if he so chooses, you know, he may not at the moment, but I know there was definitely some talk of doing it, so we'll see where that goes. But
you know, I used to be
honestly go up there. I'd like to go every other week. Honestly, I think it'd be better overall storyline wise and what we can put out and stuff.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. You know me. What killed us in Paragould is, I don't know that going once a week killed us, but going once a week in the middle of the hottest part of the summer definitely did not fucking help us at all, dude. And you know me, I used to be a big proponent of thinking if you want to tell good stories, you really need a weekly product. But all that comes from the idea of television. If you're not running a television product, look, man, every 2 weeks I think would be, if you wanted to run weekly, I would do every 2 weeks. I would not go weekly because the thing ASWF and MACW have is the building's already there. I'm assuming the ring stays set up all the time. Everything's there. So that would be easier because you wouldn't have all that travel, all them trans to get the ring here, get it set up and all that. But still yet, here's the thing. If you once a month and you draw 300 people and you run 4 times a month and you still only draw 300 people, what makes more sense? Once a month makes more sense. Exactly. And I've really started changing the way I look at how the product of wrestling should kind of be put out there if you're not on TV. Now, if you're on TV, obviously you need to be there every single week so people can keep up with what's going on.
Right. Oh, yeah. And if you're on TV, I mean, you can do like all the wrestling TV shows do. They do 3 or 4 episodes per taping. And, you know, that way you only have to have taping like Memphis does every 3 weeks, essentially. So you only have to show up for tapings. Now they do house shows and stuff, but yeah, you gotta have a presence online or on TV or in public if you do, or at actually house shows if you're gonna run and be successful. You gotta keep those eyes going on you. So I think like if you do want to run month or weekly shows, I mean you do home base 2 times a month, and then you go to town B or town C, fill in the others and do house shows or do on the road shows, and that way crowd doesn't always see everything.
I agree with you on that. If I was like, if I was to pick out 4 towns that I wanted to run, I would hit them each one of them once a month, but alternate the weeks. Like each Saturday, do a different show in a different town. If I wanted to run, if I had the inkling that I was going to wanted to run that many wrestling shows with that many fucking problems that come with it and all that bullshit, But dude, ASWF, MACW, man, y'all have some of the best talent around our area that work there week in and week out, man.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And that was sort of one of the mission statements / goals whenever they decided to reopen, was to not necessarily have the same talent that the people 12 miles down the road have.
Right.
And nothing against those people, but
you can't be different if you got all the same workers, man. You just can't.
Right there, yeah. We wanted to do our own thing, so I mean, we brought in the tattoos, and we brought in like Action Jackson's there, and Mike's there, and K Toomer's there. He's the current heavyweight champion, but we bring in people like from Texas, and Nigel Rabbit and Brittany Houghton. They're both working for Reality of Wrestling and several other promotions in Texas. They're big deals, and we bring in the Premier and that carload from I think Iowa or somewhere up in that area, Kansas City maybe, somewhere up in that area. And I mean, those guys are all uber talented, and I don't know, we bring in just people that can work and that aren't just normally seen in Northeast Arkansas area. I don't know, we're just trying to do something a little different.
It's hard nowadays because a lot of times there's so much overlay of talent.
Sure,
where I am up here in Tennessee, man. Of course, it started to thin out a little bit, but let's just say a year and a half ago, there was 4 or 5 companies running within a 50, 60 mile vicinity of each other. And the thing about it is, a lot of this talent, they'll work here until they either get fired or get mad, and then they'll go over here and work till the same thing, and then they'll go over here, and they'll eventually just keep making this circle. And a lot of them would actually work these shows if they were on different nights. They worked at different companies, but the same shows within the same vicinity. And I always thought, man, how if it was my wrestling company, I would not want to use all the talent that was working everywhere else. How do you differentiate your brand from everybody else's if they can go to 4 different shows in a 2 weeks time and see these same guys on all these shows?
Yeah, and a lot of that's I would say mixture of talent. So if this guy's on that, I mean, yeah, you can't have. You want to bring in different rotations of talent. You know, you're always going to have a core group, but after that 8 people, you got to bring in the rest of it, just random other people, and then just rotate them in on 3-4 month periods. Is sort of been our game plans on it. But I don't know. Yeah, you always got to be upgrading your talent, changing out talent.
Well,
Just same faces don't draw. You know.
and it goes back to the thing at Memphis. You can't have your certain group just always shuffle them and all working each other, because eventually you've done seen all the combinations there is to see. Bringing these different people in, give your guys a chance to work different people who work different styles, maybe from different places.
Yeah.
I mean, you know how wrestling is. Every crowd's different, and from territory to territory, that can be vastly different in crowds, how they react, and just the type of crowd, the type of wrestling they like. So it's good to bring in different people, because it gives your guys, you can deal them in the mix, man, and don't get old so fast.
That is very true. Luckily for me and you, whenever you're around, you mean you can do Memphis everywhere. So
Right.
you can go to all these towns and do all the high flying spots. Be like, all right, we're gonna do this, but we're gonna do it this way, and let them do their spots and their high spots. But then you got to do it within their the typical formula for Memphis, and it works out pretty good. So I mean, between all the places I've been that have a different style, I was able to at least compete, and not look foolish every time I was out there. Just gotta win them over and teach them. So
I think that's one of the benefits from learning how to work down here, is because, I mean, we're kind of people call it Memphis style, but we're a hodgepodge of Memphis style. Can be anything almost. You know what I mean?
yeah.
You can.
Unfortunately, Memphis gets put around with the kooky comedy gimmicks so much, and yeah, we do some kooky comedy gimmicks, but that's not all we are. There's serious wrestlers.
Dude, that's all part of wrestling anyway. There've been fucking Dr. Franks and all this shit from the beginning of wrestling, man. That's just part of the game, dude.
Yeah. Then it was Russians and Nazis and stuff like that.
Right.
Indians and just
I don't even know if you can have I don't know if you can have any of those and get any heat with them now. I definitely don't know if you could have Indian wrestlers, and they used to be.
I don't think so.
It's hard to have midget wrestlers nowadays. And look, I ain't never met a midget wrestler in my life that took offense to being called a midget. I have not one time.
No, I haven't either. I mean, they may be little people outside of it, but when they step in the ring, they're midget wrestlers. And that may not be PC, but I don't know, that may be the old school wrestler. I guess that's what they've been forever,
Dude, I'm so
I guess they're micros now.
I guess I'm so sick of fucking PC anyway, man. I mean, it is what it is. If it don't offend the person, then it shouldn't offend you. It is the way I look at it. And look, these guys, as midgets, get into pro wrestling, especially back in the day. It was kind of like women's wrestling. They knew from the get-go that if they entered this business, this was their spot. This was their niche. This was what they were going to be billed as and what they were going to do. And like
way to make a decent living, Yeah.
Hollywood Little, man, never ever takes offense when you say, "Hey, we're gonna have midget wrestling tonight." He never ever, because that's what he got in the business to do and be, man. He got in the business to be a wrestler, but he knew from the get-go that it is what it is, man. It's just as simple as that, dude. And I'm so sick of politically correct bullshit. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I am. It's stupid. Let me tell you something. When right becomes wrong and wrong becomes right, something's fucked up in the world. It just is, dude. Well, Big Nsty Phil, man, I don't think we're going to get Bradley and tell his ass he owes me one, and tell him what me and you kind of talked about, and what I kind of got on my mind. I think it might work out even better. Dude, always when I get to talk to any of you guys, it's my pleasure, dude. I appreciate you for coming on and giving me your time. I know you ain't quite as old as me, but I know you settled in life, man. And us old fuckers has got I got a schedule that I have to keep almost. You know what I mean?
I got a schedule, but I got about, and I get up early as hell for work at like 4 a.m. So me
Oh
going to
damn,
bed at like 8 is ridiculous.
yeah, you passed your bedtime already, ain't you?
Almost. I gotta have a few more conversations and then it'll be over with. But it is what it is too. So, but no, man, Buster, man, I always appreciate being able to have a conversation with you in front of this camera thing or in real life. I mean, we've known each other for 100 years now, so I mean, it's always a pleasure, and it's always my pleasure when we get to have this conversation. But thank you for putting me and allowing my ugly face to grace your airwaves and your audience, and all y'all people out there. I hope you come see me at a wrestling show real soon.
Well, look,
ASWF
before we
Tuckerman,
look,
Memphis, 100 Wrestling, because I know Jamie's still out there watching. Come see us. That's always a fun show.
you got
There's some other
anything
things
else?
in the book.
Yeah, talk.
Uh,
No, I mean, dude, plug what
yeah.
tell these people where you're gonna be at, man. Tell everybody where they can catch
Okay.
Big Nasty Phil at, dude.
Let's see. The next show I got. The next taping will be March 24th, right there at the Wrestle Center in Memphis. I believe. Where's Tuckerman? Tuckerman, the anniversary show. It'll be the 18th anniversary of being in that building and the
Wow.
25th anniversary of ASWF as an entity. I was at the
Right.
first show. I'm the only active ASWF original still around. Um, in a backyard in Walnut Ridge, Arkansas, to that building. But
I love that building too.
it's nice, and it needs, and they're working on trying to upgrade it a bunch. So um, it's not done yet. So wait and see here on that one. But I think it's April 13th. We're working on. Man, I forget when the April Memphis taping is, but it's in the 20s. I'm not exactly sure, but and then 100 Wrestling in Wynn, Arkansas. There is going to be May 4th. So everybody come out, and I'm going to do Star Wars related stuff because it's May the 4th be with you,
I
Star
seen
Wars
that,
Day.
dude.
So that'll be fun. It was a good time last time. I'm gonna make some more kids cry, and
That's your goal in life, huh?
it's my goal in
They
life.
don't
Stepping
call
on,
me big and nasty for nothing, man.
right. That little kid was dancing to my music, and I snuck up on him. He was probably 3. But he was dancing to my music out in the crowd, and I just stood on it, and I stood this far from him, and I just go sit down, and his face as he looks up and realized and
I
ran to his
can
parents. I was like, oh, thank goodness, that's
that
what's up.
that
And
big
he was,
long look up he had to do
yeah,
to get to
and
your
he did it
face,
in
man.
slow motion too. It was priceless. And then Action Jackson, he took right over before I can even get a message to him. He had it. And we that kid got to play the rest of the night, so or rest of that match anyway. So it was a good time. I hope everybody else enjoyed it too. So we hope to do it again May 4th. So all
Making
that good
kids
stuff.
cry. That's what pro wrestling's all about. That's what makes it
That's right.
worthwhile, right?
Exactly. Especially when you're big and nasty and your name's Phil. So
Right, there you go. Dude, man, like I said, Phil, it's my pleasure, man. You know, anytime you want to come on or anything, you're more than
oh
welcome.
yeah,
Just hit me up, man. Uh,
appreciate it.
brother, I'm gonna let you out of here. I'm fixing to go eat some supper, dude. And you have a
There you go.
great night, my friend.
Yes, sir. You too. You have a great one.
Take
I'll
it easy.
show off my nub. Bye.
Dude, the nub, man. And I didn't even mention, hold on, all day I've been thinking about he's bringing the 9-finger death punch, and we get to talking, and I forget this whole shit, man. Man, you need to get you one of them little kingpin Woody Harrelson hand fingers, a little rubber nub that sticks on there, dude. Freak everybody out. Hey, Big
Oh,
Nasty Phil, you ought to get you a rubber prosthetic finger that's loaded, dude.
I'm working on a new finishing maneuver with it, so I'm gonna debut that one soon. I have a good feeling on that one, so
I
I think
can't
we're
wait
gonna
to
call
see
it the
that, dude.
Phantom Finger.
There you go, man. The phantom finger poke of doom.
There you go. Right there. Nubbin.
There you go. Brother,
Yeah.
like I said, you have a great night, man. And
Yes,
dude,
sir.
I wish you and Bradley all the success in the world, dude, with y'all's careers, man.
I appreciate it. And I'm going to go cuss him out real quick. You have a good one, Buster. I'll talk to you soon, sir.
Yes, sir. You take it easy. All right, y'all. You seen it right there. We never got Bradley, so maybe we'll get him here one day soon. Who knows? Big Nasty Phil. Go check this dude out, man. You can check him out at Memphis Wrestling, MACW. 100 Wrestling, Jamie J, of course. Always entertaining. Always dude, this dude's ain't but like 3 inches away from being a fucking giant anyway. So go check Big Nasty Phil out. He's got that 9-finger death punch. And look, guys, tomorrow night, 7 p.m., Blaze Ray. This is going to be a little different show tomorrow night. We're going to talk wrestling, period. We're not just going to talk wrestling around here. We're going to get a little injury update on Blaze Ray. He's had a new injury. We're going to put him in a bubble. But after that, we're just going to talk wrestling, and could be anything. If you guys want to tune in and interact with us, throw some questions out, feel free to, guys. I will see you all tomorrow night at 7 p.m. regular time.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts over tracks, this and that, spitting slow, spitting fast. I could roast, I could gas, think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past. And the pettiness, a reflection of the emptiness. Hilarious, you think you're worth my time, you're delirious. Mysterious, because you hide behind a fake exterior. Inferior, you know I'll always be a bit superior. Get off of me, this ain't no humble brag. I want you to hear words, you can say them back. I want you to feel free from the chains that last, and to believe in what you got, it was built to last, yeah. Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself.